racing, that's all you ever think about.
Hey guys, so I'm going to try and keep this brief, but no promises, as today I'm going to talk about my favourite era within racing. And I'm sure for most of you who have either spoken to me in the past, or you know me, or you've seen some of my videos, you will know that it's between sort of like the early 60s through to sort of like the early to late 70s, or early to, yeah, sort of late 70s. So the reason why I like this era so much is you've got crazy innovation within engineering, which means the cars and the speeds and everything else, every weekend it was almost something new has come out. You know, you start off in the 60s with a front engine car, and then you get to like the mid 70s and it's like you've got a Cosworth DSV structured, you know, structural engine part of the chassis, you know, in the back, and you've got, you know, different suspension types, you know, and you know, aerodynamics and ground effects starting to come in, and slicks, and all of these like brilliant innovations within motorsport in general, not just Formula One but everywhere. You had some incredible drivers that were actually allowed to be personalities. I mean, you go back and you watch the interviews with like Jackie Stewart and Graham Hill, and you know, and people like that, and Sterling Moss, and you know, they generally came across as genuine people because they could be who they were. On top of that, you know, the drivers themselves, a lot of them, you know, they're all sort of like in this big brotherhood because of how dangerous it was. They treated each other with respect, particularly on track, which you don't see so much nowadays, which I think is a shame. You know, back then it was very clean. You wouldn't have people pushing each other off or pushing people to the limits of the track or onto the grass. You know, there was a lot of respect, and motorsport in many ways was sort of seen as the chess game that it's meant to be. You know, driving into somebody isn't racing, that's just someone being an idiot. It's, you know, especially back then, because you knew that you could kill people by doing that, or yourself, or both. Yeah, there's so many great things that came out of that era. You know, and it's just fantastic. I mean, the cars themselves, you know, like as I've already alluded to, they're dangerous to drive. They're not safe things to drive, but that's what kind of makes them so fun and exciting. I mean, jumping in a Porsche 917 and doing like well over 200, if not 230 mile an hour down the Mulsanne straight, like that's just ridiculous when you take the shell off that car, and it's like, you know, the chassis is built from tubes like that big, and you're just there like, this is crazy. But it's fantastic. You know, the Can-Am series was just brilliant. Yeah, I'm just lighting up talking about like that era. I know I'm probably looking at it with rose-tinted glasses because I never lived through it, and you know, if I was driving through that era and, you know, I had friends of mine dying all the time, I probably wouldn't be as happy about it. But obviously, you know, loads of big headway was made because of that, and you know, because of people like Jackie Stewart that got involved with that. And no, I just think it's an absolutely fantastic era. You know, you could be, you know, as I've said, the engineering, the people, you know, and the fact that safety wasn't there meant that you could push yourself. Like, one of the things that I'm kind of a little bit frustrated with now is people know I like my long stints. I like to push myself and see how far I can go, not just the car or how long the tank of fuel can go, but how long I can go. And back then, there was a guy that did Le Mans with his son, and he did like, I think it was 23 hours and 45 minutes of the race, which, you know, he took a short toilet break and a short food break for 15 minutes, but he did the rest of the race himself. And it's like, maybe I wouldn't go to that extreme, but I'd like to push myself and do 6 hours or 12 hours, or, you know, and see what I'm capable of, because racing's not just about pushing the limits of you know, your driving, but also of yourself as well, and concentration and your fitness. So yeah, anyway, rant over. I'll leave it there. I'm sure I've probably made this one quite long already, but yeah, so if you do have any questions or you want me to expand on any more points, let me know. But yeah, otherwise I'll see you tomorrow.